Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to create a 3D animated progress bar. This has a lot of application I'm still exploring, and it's just something that's easy to do and it's kind of cool. And it looks something like this. We'll go start the game here, and there we are. And we come over here and we look up in the sky, you'll see that bar. Now, you could use a billboard and put that over the top of there saying progress or time left to play or whatever. And this is driven off of the sequencer. But when I hit that trigger, you'll see what happens. It'll go away. Well, it's going to go away and then it's going to pop right back into existence. But I'll show you how to fix that. So anyway, I go on the trigger. And isn't that cool? It's very easy to do. And boop, it goes back to the height. But you can make it where it stays down. But since this is driven off our old friend, the trigger, it'd be very easy to manipulate this with verse code and create literal 3D progress bars that actually kind of are cooler in a sense, where maybe the player has to go back to a certain location or can see from a distance their progress without having the progress bar on the screen. So it's just a different way of thinking about what a progress bar could be. So anyway, I'll be back in just a minute and show you how to do this. Hey, we're back and we're going to get started with making this unique 3D animated progress bar, but it could also be used to make any prop disappear. To get started, we're just going to go into a blank project and start over. I'm excited about doing this. This is fun. There's so much possibilities in Unreal Editor for Fortnite. It's like a miniature version of Unreal Engine, but what I've noticed is it has all the same material complexity assets that Unreal Engine has. So they've made a decision basically to put all the material power into this Unreal Editor for Fortnite, even though it lacks a lot of the tools that Unreal Engine has. When it comes to materials, Unreal Editor has the same components that I can tell as the full engine does. And it also is operating off of Unreal Engine 5.4, which is interesting. So you're seeing the latest and greatest in Unreal Editor for Fortnite. So anywho, to get started with this, what we're going to do is we're going to be in the content level folder here, and we're going to right click and we're going to create a blueprint class. And before I do that, I'm going to, well, I guess I'll just create a building prop and go building prop. I'll just leave it called new blueprint. Now what we're going to do is, what I've noticed is, well, I'll show you. If I click on this, double click into this, and I dock this up here, we can add a cube, but I notice it's hard to change the pivot point if I do that. So I don't want to add a cube in here. I'm gonna add a cube. I'm gonna model a cube and then bring it in. So we're gonna go up here to selection mode and go to modeling, and we'll go to box here. We have a box right here. And you'll notice we have our pivot point location right here, and it's set to base. And we have base, top, center. I think I'll keep it at base. And then you just have to decide which way do you want this progress bar to go. Do you want it to go up or down? I think it might be fun to make it go not this way, not subdivisions. Here, I want the width here. I think it might be fun. Let's see. Let me put that back to 100. Maybe on the depth. Yeah, like this. Like a regular progress bar. So we'll have this interesting looking progress bar that no one else is going to have in their game. And let's make it more narrow. So we'll make it 10 on height. Maybe 20. Maybe that's too small. That's too small. Let's just do 50. So let's do 50, 1,000 on depth, 50 on height. You can do it however, whatever size you want. When we're done, we'll just go accept. Now hopefully, I hope my pivot point seems like it's at the base. So anyway, we're going to go into the new blueprint, and now under static mesh, we can find that box that we just made, and it's right there. And there it is. And what's cool about this now, we can add a material. So let's add a material. So let's use something that's not really that noticeable. It doesn't like us to use that So let me find something else here. Let me find a better material. I'm just searching. I've got to come back and take a look at that. I'm very intrigued about what that is. For some reason, it's not letting me scroll. Let me see. Let me just use that. Yeah, you don't want to use, you have to be selective in the material that you use. Okay, we don't want this model anymore. We want the one that we made in our blueprint. So then we'll bring it up here and put it right there. And then all we have to do is, this is really simple from here, is you should be able to right click, go to cinematics, create a level sequence, double click into here, make sure that's selected, track, add that to our level sequence. And we should have transform available to us. Transform, and then we'll click there to add a keyframe. You can, however long you want this to go. So if you hit control and scroll wheel, you can drag this and make this auto keyframe is on. And then we're going to go to the end frame there. And here's where we're going to scale it back. So it looks like we're going to go down on the red. See, it looks like it's not scaling the way I want it to. You know what I need to do, I think? Let's go back into model and make another cube here. Another box. See where the pivot point is there? Let me just put this all to 100 real fast. Because that was the default. So let's just return it to the default. So there I think there it's on the base. So let's, on the height, increase it, so that our pivot point is on the base, because it's going to look weird when we scale it. That's why. So let's do it like that, and then I can rotate it later if I want it horizontal. So let's do it that way. So we want to scale it on the height, set the pivot point to the base, so that our pivot point's on just on one end of it. We don't want the pivot point in the middle. Okay, so then we're good. So let's accept that. Get out of modeling mode. Okay, and sorry for that digression there. Now what we can do is in these meshes, here it is right here, what I can do is hit F2 and rename this to just box 1 so that I see it. I know where it is exactly. So then I'll go File, Save All. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're back on track. So now what I can do is come in here and just swap that out, box 1, with this one, because that's what I want. It's not going to scale correctly. So then I'm going to go ahead and delete that from the scene. Okay, we're back on track. Okay, I just got a little off there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here, and let me see. I don't know if these values are going to work anymore. Yeah, see, we're not on the right. So let me just delete this transform, and we have our, let me select this and make sure. Yeah, I've got that blueprint selected. So let's go ahead and do this again. So now we'll go to transform, and we'll click that to lock in a keyframe. Then we'll go to the end keyframe, and what we want to do is see which one is it's probably gonna be this one. See how it brings it down just on one side? So all we'll do is take that down to 0. That's all we got to do. Fantastic, right? Now we can just rotate that if we want it to be horizontal. So we'll just leave it like that. Then all we need to do is come into the content browser, go into devices, and we're going to search for a cinematic sequence device here, and drag that onto the scene. And then we need a trigger. So we'll get a trigger, and I'm going to show you how you could do this to make it look, good for your game. So we'll go back to sequencer here, and if we go to the beginning and now we hit play, you'll see, watch what happens to that's our progress bar, right? But then someone might say, well, it doesn't say progress bar or anything. Well, that's a super easy fix for that. We can just go ahead and get a billboard here. Let's get a billboard and drag it over here. And I don't know where we want to put this. I might have to go into the top view real fast to make sure I'm lined up. So there, I can see it better in here. So line it up here. And I could put it right on the top of the thing if I want. I don't know if I should put it right on top or underneath. Okay, so now let's go back into perspective. Yeah, we're right lined up with it. So I can just put this up on the top here like that. And then I should be able to increase the text size. So it's a little bit more finagling than I thought it would be, but it ended up being a 45-minute video or something. And what we can do is we can actually darken this opacity up. Progress bar. So with that black, we don't need this alpha anymore. So, and we can just bring that down like that. Okay, and then all we need is we have our trigger. We have our cinematic sequence device and our trigger in the game. So for our cinematic sequence device, we just set our new level sequence, and then we come here and we're set our trigger here. Trigger, and then trigger on triggered. And we'll see how it looks and see if this is a viable thing to do. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. It looks like it's ready to go. So we'll see how this works. I think it might be a cool way to do a progress bar. Now, obviously, that's way higher than I wanted it to be. You know, I could bring that down lower to the ground. Obviously, that title is too too high. But, you know, it's kind of an interesting way to do a progress bar, right? It'd be like the player knows that's the progress bar, but it's not on the HUD. So, I don't know. It has some... So, if I hit this, it should come down. Yeah, and there it goes. Cool, right? So I probably want to put that title on the bottom of this, not that. Now I want to show you something. It jumped all the way back to the top, so it's like resetting automatically. But isn't that cool? I mean, that's cool, right? And it's very easy to do. Boop. It's a nice visual representation of... It's a cool 3D progress bar. But I need to bring that title way down. So it's bothering me. So let me just do that real fast. So we'll just bring it straight down. Like, let me see. Yeah, just like right there. So that's going to look a lot better lower. But anyway, that's the gist of it. And the cool thing is that if it's based off of a trigger, that means that this could be accessed through verse code. And then every time someone accomplishes a goal or something, we could decrement. We could have the sequencer play just for a short, like 5 seconds, you know, a second or two, just to drop the progress bar down. And then when it gets to a certain value, you know, something else happens. So it opens up a lot of possibilities. But anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Take care. Have a great day. And I will talk to you next time.